Okay, I think I'm streaming, but let me just do the audio check as per usual, because that has saved us a couple of times in the past. Okay, I can hear my audio. I see people in chat already. Hello, welcome in. How's it going? Chan the Magic Man and Charlie's Beats. How's it going? Wait a second. Oh, I'm streaming no game. Hold on. I need to update that. I had cleared chess because my last category was chess. There we go. To be fair, Magic isn't a game. Okay, Magic the Gathering is a game, but this kind of magic. No. Okay, alright, awesome. Hey, thanks for opening the trick list, Chan. Appreciate it. How's it going? Miss Chess? Oh, well, I started it as a productivity stream, and then the second half became a chess because I played, I don't know, was it like 3 or 4 games of chess? So, yeah. During the week. I mean, if you want to play me in chess, I mean, I have my chess things there, so. Alright. Okay, alright, now that I fixed the category, am I now streaming a category? I think it's corrected now. Yeah, Magician. Okay, there we go. Alright, okay. Whew. Man, it has been a week. It has been a week. Let's see. So, new camera is working out. Still, hold on. I have to rearrange this really quick. I need this to look good. Guys, this is what I do off camera, like right before a stream. I literally readjust this. And then let me put on my cheating gloves, sort quick, everybody's favorite cheating gloves. By everybody, I mean just pretty much me. Um, so yeah, how's everybody doing? It, I've had a very up and down week. So I had wanted to stream, what was it, last night, but my kid kept on waking up. She woke up like twice in the middle of the night, which normally she's not really waking up at all anymore. And so I was like, why are you waking up? And so when I was like, all right, I guess I wasn't meant to stream last night. And then I'd wanted to stream on Friday during the day, but then my kid, we decided to keep her home from school because, well, she had gone to the doctor and got shots on Thursday. So I think that might have caused some stuff for Friday. So elevated temperature, we didn't want to risk it, so we just kept her home. So it was hang out with Daddy Day. But anyway, did chat just clear itself? I don't want to show you my messy, but I'm gonna have properties. Oh, wait. Okay. I think I know what I did. Hold on. Let me, becomes active. Okay. I'm gonna turn this off for a second. You'll see how messy it is over there. Okay. Actually, you guys can see how really, so I have a board. It is sitting underneath card boxes, and this is not super solid. I mean, I guess it's a little solid. The card boxes are heavy, so. But anyway. So now you guys know the secret. All right, hold on. Now let's test chat. And then let me change scenes and change back. Okay, I fixed it. All right. Sorry, guys. Man. Okay, all right. So, yep, there's the trick list. If anyone wants to request, let me put a magician's choice in there. I did learn a new trick, so that's good. And I did not record it for tomorrow yet. I'm actually not sure if I'm going to release that tomorrow or I'm just going to do one of my jazz performances. I say jazz performance not because I'm a musician, but I've been putting quick tricks to jazz music on my YouTube channel, and that's been getting. And the tricks are shorter. I'm not talking because you're just listening to jazz, so uh, they're turning out to be pretty popular. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Well, I guess this is what people want, so this is what people will get. So I might just do that. We'll see, but let's see. So the trick, let's see if we can do it. All right, guys, I'm doing what I normally do. I'm warming up with a brand new trick. Maybe I should not, but that's okay. All right, I've set aside the 4 queens, not necessarily because of any particular reason, but you know, Chan is a magician, so if anything suspicious happens, you can blame Chan. All right, I have the 4 queens. They're gonna help me out, and I'm gonna separate them into 2 different piles. If you guys, and honestly, the only person who may know, Chan, if you have seen the trick, ice. E-Room, welcome in. How's it going? Thanks for the bang. E-Room coming in with a bang. How's it going? Welcome in, E-Room. But Chan, if you've heard of the trick called Isolated Visitor, this is that. So, how you doing, Chan? How you doing, E-Room? How you doing, Charlie? I just said hi to everybody that I remember in chat. But thanks for shouting out E-Room, guys. Hey, if everybody is not following our friend E-Room, please give E-Room a follow. E-Room, known as the Pope of Indiana, and streams a variety of different things, like words on stream, which, by the way, E-Room's really good at. But also in real life stuff, opening Kinder eggs, oh, E-Room, I wanted to let you know that I was lurking while you were showing off your, what was it, a Lego chess set, I think. So I saw you were showing off some of those pieces, so that was pretty cool. And actually, while we are here, we haven't done anything yet, so let's shout out our friend and mod, Chan the Magic Man. Guys, you're not following our friend Chan the Magic Man. Please give Chan the Magic Man a follow. Chan, one of the other magicians that has a regular magic schedule. And actually, Chan, your birthday is coming up, right? So definitely give Chan a follow and catch him for Magic Mondays. But I think you're doing a stream on Thursday for your birthday. So definitely check Chan out. And then also, if you're not following our friend Charlie's Beats, please give Charlie's Beats a follow. One day he may stream again. We don't know. All right. Okay, so this is my first time performing a trick called Isolated Visitor. And so it doesn't matter which card we select. So let's go ahead and select a card. That's our selection. We're going to need 2 piles, so let's make them. There we go. Our selection is going to be the 8 of clubs. So here, I'm going to go ahead and place the 8 of clubs in between the 2 red queens. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and cut them into the middle of this packet. And then what we are going to do is, let's go ahead and grab this packet. And let's see here. What we need to do now is we're going to be using the 2 black queens, and let's just cut anywhere. Okay, so here's the 2 black queens, okay? And what the 2 black queens are going to do is they're going to go ahead and grab that 8 of clubs from this packet. Because look, that 8 of clubs is going to appear over here. I know, is that weird? That's super weird, right? Super weird. And in between the two red queens. I know, super weird. But that's okay. Look, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put it back. Wait a second, that's not right. Oh, oh, I see what I did wrong. Okay, we're gonna start over. Shh, don't tell anybody how this trick is done. Now that you know. Well, you may or may not know. Guys, this is what happens when I do a brand new trick on stream. It has just occurred to me that when I practiced this, it was not with a regular deck of cards. Yeah, you saw nothing, says Jan. Alright, okay. Here we go. Starting over. That's okay. This is not on the trick list anyway, so. Alright, so here we go. We need a card selected. Here's our card. This card is going to be the 10 of clubs. That's great because I don't want to remember too many, so it's still a club. All right, I'm going to put the 10 of clubs in between the two red queens, and we are going to go ahead and cut them into the deck over here, like this. Okay. All right, and now we're going to need to do something with this packet, and let's go ahead and use the red, sorry, the black queens. I should have used the kings because that's how I rehearsed the trick. All right, okay. So, all right, here we go. We are going to go ahead and grab that 10 of clubs and place it in between the two queens over here. I know, right? Is that weird? That's super weird, right? And this is... all right, okay. But look, we're going to go ahead and take it and put it back. I know, that's super... But you're not going to believe that the 10 of clubs... And you know, perhaps I had a duplicate 10 of clubs, right? Because it's not signed. But no, I assure you there's only one. Because look, if I show you what's in here, there's only one card in between the two red queens, and it's the 10 of clubs. All right, okay. Needs work. Needs work. There we go. Could have been signed, but in this case, it wasn't. Ooh. Ooh. All right, that's okay. That's okay. If I succeed at the next trick, it'll feel better because I did it. And also, that was the first trick, so it can only go up, right? Okay. Thank you kindly for the claps. Chan the Magic Man. All right, let's see. So, all right. This past week, so had some job applications. Nothing really heard back of any substantive value, and a very small percentage even responded with like, the position is closed. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Oh my God, Gibson Lens, Bert, welcome in. How's it going? Every single time I see Gibson Lens's first message in chat, I realize that I had forgotten to send my Discord messages. So I send my Discord message as soon as I see Bert's message. Welcome in, Gibson Lens. How's it going, Bert? Hopefully you're doing well. I just did my first warm-up trick, which was a brand new trick, and I failed. I mean, and then I did it correctly the second time, but and then I said it can only get better from here, right? Just as long as I don't mess up a trick. But anyway, yeah, so anyway, I need to come up with a way to find a bunch of money so I can take advantage of some stock options before I don't have the choice to not take advantage of them anymore. So that's my current state of life. But the good news is, I might, um, the immediate urgency to find a job might not be as high as I initially thought. So that could be good. Gibson Lynn says, I'm doing well. First Two Towers viewing is tomorrow. Excellent. That is good because I have a prediction as to whether you will like it or not already in my mind. So that's exciting. If I had never read the books, the Lord of the Rings books. I had seen all of the movies though because they all were released while I was working at Blockbuster way back in the day. So if I recall, I did think that all of them were pretty long, but actually the fact that each one had, when it was rented out at the video store, each each release had two DVDs, and it wasn't just like, hey, here's it. They had two DVD cases because there was three discs, and the movie was on one of them, and then I think the other two, there were like three discs total, so it couldn't fit into like one case. And so it was like the specials and then way more specials. Just like, and it was like, oh, this is where the commentary is. It wasn't like on the regular movie track. It was on the secondary movie with commentary track. I don't remember exactly, but yeah. That was my memories from the blockbuster from the video store. Okay. All right, I kind of want to do this trick just because I was thinking about tricks to do in real life, and I'm like, this would be awesome if I could easily nail it. I also was wondering if I should try and just do some tricks quick, visually, and maybe not talk through all of them because that's somehow more popular on YouTube. I don't know. That's anyway. Okay, so we have the 5, the 6, 7, and 8 of hearts. And what we're going to do is we are just going to go ahead and invisibly palm a card. Because look, if I palm a card badly, it's not invisibly palmed. But if I palm a card really good, it will be palmed. And I'll place it on the table. Now, we're going to go ahead and do that again. Like so. If I palm it badly, there we go. But if I palm it invisibly, as this trick intended, we'll put it down on the table right there. And so we've got our 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm going to go ahead and place our 5 right there. And we will palm that off of the bottom of the deck. And we will just go ahead and palm it and place it down. And here we have all of our cards, including the 5. That was the invisible palm. Okay. I remember that one, at least. That's good. So, E-Room says, nice one! Thanks for clearing that, Chan. And thank you for the claps. E-Room, thank you for the applause, Chan. Appreciated. If you guys have been sitting around for a while, please feel free to hydrate. I'm having black tea. So I am enjoying my new camera, this camera, right over here. This one, this new camera. I have noticed the difference in just the video quality and the fact that it doesn't change contrast all the time. So, oh my god, I'm having so much trouble shuffling. But I did finish my previous everyday carry deck. I think I showed that off at the end of the last stream. So now I have a new deck that I'm carrying around with me. I would say brand new, but it's actually, I opened it 2 years ago in 2023, but it was like very infrequently used. So, okay, I have a thing I want to try. I have no idea if it's going to work, but I hope it does. So we shall see how it goes. Worst case scenario, I mess it up. So let me first, hold on, let me remove some jokers really quick. Okay. So there's our deck. Okay, and then I have a little envelope here. So this is just a Tyvek envelope, and we're going to be using it. And these cards are all different. And we're going to need a card selected, so if anybody would like to select one, you're welcome to go ahead and either click on the screen, name it, whatever. So, and I see someone clicked here on the Ace of Hearts. All right, so here we go. We have the Ace of Hearts. And I'm going to go ahead and oh yeah, so I'm going to leave the selection out just for a second. And if you were here, we could put, I don't have enough stickers, so, but I would have you initial a sticker, place it here, initial another sticker, and then we would close this gap and showing you that there's nothing in it. All right. And so right now I'm just rehearsing this. Okay. And then we would leave the envelope somewhere where you would be able to see it the entire time. So let's go ahead and pretend we did that. And I'm going to go ahead and place it over here. Okay. And just for safekeeping, I'll put, you know, I won't put anything on it. You'll just be able to see it the entire time. Okay. All right. So you've made your selection, and we have all the cards here. Okay. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and place our Ace of Hearts into the deck, but face down. So we're just going to go ahead and place it right there. Okay. Now here's the magical part about this trick. We're going to have the deck sock. Guys, we haven't seen the deck sock in a while because I don't want to mess this up. So deck sock, you help me out. All right, so here we go. Deck sock. can you go ahead and do your magic? The deck sock is going to now grab the card from inside the deck and put it into the envelope. Now remember, we put that in face up into the face down deck, but we can go through every single card now. And you will be able to see that with every single card, you will not be able to see any face up cards. Is that weird? That's super weird, right? But if we come over here and take a look, this envelope has been sitting over here underneath the deck sock the entire time. I know, is that weird? That's super weird, right? But now look, if I just go ahead and we turn over the envelope and we open it up, there's a single card in there. And if we pull that out, which card should it be? Well, it will be the Ace of Hearts. And this was actually after we took off all the stickers and everything, but just rehearsing, didn't want to use any stickers. Also, I don't even know if I have any, so. How was that? All right. Seems good? Seems okay? I think I have to smooth that out a little bit. Clearly, I'm not like familiar with performing that, so I just have to take that and yeah, and run with it, get used to it. And then the fun part is if you need to hand out the envelope later, here it is. Hold on, it might be better looking over here. Here it is if you need to hand out the envelope later. There you go. Awesome. So that's a new trick I've never done before, and I've only done it just now. That's the only time. I haven't even done it on my YouTube channel because it is actually currently being marketed only by somebody that I've seen show that trick in real life at magic conventions. And if you go onto his website, you actually can't even see demos or anything of any of these. He only does it for magicians in real life at like conventions and stuff. So pretty cool. But yeah, that's one that I was like, I should probably practice that because I think it looks good. So actually, while I'm here, let me put in a magician's just so that I can clear it. But yeah, brand new. Thank you kindly for the claps, Chan and E-Room, and thanks for the sock, the deck sock emotes, Chan and Charlie. Okay. So, very well done. Thanks, Chan. Appreciate it. Yeah, Chan, if you're curious as to like what that trick is called and who made it, let me know. You can message me. I'll send you the information as I said though, I don't know if you'll be able to find out who like any information online. But if you see him at a magic convention or something, you can definitely buy the buy the trick from him. So, all right. Let's see. So, I've jumped in the pool the last couple of days, but it was kind of cooler here, so it wasn't as hot as it was like the last couple of weeks. Um, but I'm like, oh, the pool is like there, and then my kid wants to jump in, so I'm like, all right, I guess I'm gonna jump in too. Um, I've been eating like crap because ever since her birthday party, we had a bunch of leftover pizza. So I've just been having pizza every day, almost. Today was the first day I had pizza and it was not leftover pizza. So, um, yeah. Let's see. Lots of changes on my YouTube channel, if anybody didn't hear from earlier. But I had it. Chan's got the pizza and pineapple. Pizza time! That's right. Nice. Yeah, so I was alluding to changes on my YouTube channel. So last week I published like 5 videos to my YouTube channel in 1 week, which normally I post one, two if you count the stream one, but now that's on a different channel, so I wouldn't. But so last week I literally posted. Well, I did them ahead of time and then I scheduled them. So 5 got published last week. I only had to do one, but Tuesday is like I'm thinking in my mind I'm calling it Teaching Tuesday, and I have like members only videos on Tuesday. Then on Monday it's Magic Monday, so I basically have a new trick. And then on Wednesday and Friday I have a quick trick that it was just easy for me to record like a bunch in a row and then like just put music to them. And so I guess I didn't have anything. Oh, and I did publish one on Thursday, which was my attempt to be like, here's something new and different. So on Thursday of last week, or this past week, I published a video on YouTube asking, can I do magic with sleeved cards? And that's only like a 5-minute video, so you can check that out. Beth kind of sort of welcome in, and Beth says, I ate a whole sleeve of Thin Mints today. And Beth kind of says, I am an adult. So Beth, kinda sorta, I am glad that you are an adult because that means you are entitled to make whatever decisions you would like. And if you would like to finish a sleeve of Thin Mints, that is perfectly fine. I mean, nobody's judging here. I mean, if anything, I'd be like, yo, they lasted that long? Like, without other people getting their hands in on it so that you have the entire Thin Mint? So there are some things that I kind of sometimes feel ashamed of. For example, when I finish an entire sleeve of Pringles in one sitting, and I'm just like, oh, and it's like I shouldn't feel good about it, but I'm like, hey, I finished an entire sleeve of Pringles, and it's like, oh, I finished an entire sleeve of Pringles. Look at this. But anyway, welcome in, Beth. Hopefully you're doing well. How's it going? I don't know if you want a congratulations or my sympathies, but you can have whichever one you intended, or both. I mean, I guess if that's the valid. You know what? Maybe we should do a trick about Thin Mints. Let's try and do a trick about Thin Mints. Let me see here. Can I come up with one really quick? Let's see. Hmm. All right, hold on. We're going to. I just appreciate the validation. Yeah, so I used to finish the sleeves in 2 sittings because I'm like, ooh, and then I looked at what a serving size was, and it didn't matter like before I was 35, like because I could just eat whatever, right, and it didn't matter. And then after 35, so basically in the past like 5 years, Um, I've had to kind of watch more of what I eat, and it like things actually affect me more. So I don't. Uh, I would love to still be able to eat as though I was like 34, because back then I was still fine. Let me see here. Okay, all right. Where was I? Oh yeah, yeah. Let's let's come up with a trick with Thin Mints. Okay. Let's even hold on. Let me see if I could. This will even work, right? I need to do something else here. Okay. Let's try. Let's try this. I'm older than 35, says Beth, kinda sorta. My my sympathies. I feel ya. Okay. Okay, we're gonna wing this a little bit because I feel like I have to, because otherwise I'm not gonna be able to do the trick. Okay. Okay. All right. Here we go. Uh, Man, I have to get used to that. So this camera has like a wide enough lens that it picks up a little bit extra. I guess I could just slide this over a little bit. Hold on. I'm gonna slide my chairs over. Please hold. Google's food life choices at X undisclosed age. All right, guys. So, I have a packet of cards. I don't want you to think of it. You could also slightly zoom in. Oh yeah, I could do that. You're right. I'm too lazy to do that right now, but that's a good call. Thanks, Bert. All right, so I don't want you to think of this as a stack of cards. This is a sleeve of Thin Mints, okay? So here, I'm going to show you how many Thin Mints are left. This may or may not be however many is in a regular sleeve. Uh, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Thin Mints. Okay? Now, um, however, as you look into the packet, you realize somebody has grabbed one. And who has grabbed one? Well, it wasn't you, because you did not eat that Thin Mint. Because take a look. Now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the culprit is this person, the Queen of Hearts. They have eaten one of the Thin Mints. And you're like, hey, that was going to be mine. I wanted that Thin Mint. And so, yeah, so now you don't have that many. Now you've got like 7, right? Um, but now, you're like, okay, I have to make these count, because now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But then who comes along and eats one? Well, it's probably going to be somebody that just walked right in. And once again, they ate. Look, Chan the Magic Man. Chan the Magic Man had a Thin Mint. Wait, Chan the Magic Man, do you like Thin Mints? that's, that's probably a good question. But if Chan the Magic Man didn't eat it, he could certainly make it disappear. For sure. And so now, there might only be like 5 Thin Mints, right? So, or wait, 8, 7, 6, 5. Yeah, yeah. All right. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 Thin Mints left. But wait, you're probably wondering, somebody came to eat another one. 1, 2, 3, 4. But wait, who are they? Well, I mean, they're probably another queen. Because look, It's another queen that has eaten another thin mint. So wait, do you have 3 now? 1, 2, 3. You have an awful fewer number of thin mints than you initially started with. 1, 2, 3. That's weird. Where are all these thin mints going? You wanted all of them to yourself. And you know what? I don't know if you knew, but the serving size of Thin Mints, I know this because I looked at Thin Mints specifically, and I rationed myself to serving size, and it's a very unsatisfying size. It is precisely 3 Thin Mints is one serving size, and so you basically don't want to get into a situation where somebody eats your 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 third Thin Mint, because then you only have 2, and that's less than a serving size. Well, who would do that? Well, here's 1, 2, and here's the person that ate your Thin Mint. So our last queen. And so I don't know if you care, but now you're going to be upset because you have. Well, wait, you have 4 Thin Mints left. What? How did that happen? Well, as it turns out, you were keeping very good track, and the serving size of Thin Mints is 3 Thin Mints per serving, and you had actually stashed a bunch away already. And that, my friends, is a trick themed as Thin Mints and eating them, and people eating yours, and then you actually have enough. So you actually have 12. Look at all these Thin Mints that you have left over. You have 4 servings, but they're not for them, they're for you. And by you, I mean if Beth, you're still there. They can be for you, Beth. They're yours. All right. And that, my friends, is a completely random trick I've never done before, and I've never I've never made a Thin Mint trick before. So that was the very first, very exclusive here at Crazy Asians channel. Thank you kindly for the claps, E-Room. Thank you kindly for the claps, Chan. Thanks for clearing that, Chan. And hopefully that was a delicious trick for everybody. The good news is that if Chan makes a Thin Mint disappear, conceivably Chan can make it reappear. He just did it for the magic. He didn't eat it yet. Although it's going to be his birthday soon. He might just eat it first on Thursday. Well, that was cool. That was fun. Let's see. If I was to redo it, well, for now that I know where I would be going with the trick, I could probably tell the story better. But otherwise, I mean, I think I did everything mechanically okay, so that was good. All right, let's see here. Oh yeah, I do want to practice this one. As per usual. And you know what? Let's just do the cardless right after, because I usually do anyway. So, here we go. I mean, if I was saying this like Mario, here we go! That was my best attempt at a high-pitched Mario. Hopefully that was okay. Alright. Oh, the camera angle is a little bit different for this, right? But okay, so we've got 4 coins, 4 cards. I'm going to cover each card with a coin. Sorry, I'm going to cover each coin with a card. I have to talk English better. And let's go ahead and make them teleport from corner to corner, from one from over here all the way over here. 1, 2, 3. From this one over here to over there. 1, 2, 3. Happens pretty quick. 1, 2, 3. There we go. and that is the standard version. And then we have the cardless version. And so let's go ahead and make them jump like so. Here we go. There we go. And there we go. And then we've got 1, 2, 3 over here, and we've got the one over there, and here we go. Haha. And then I've been trying to finish with this particular finish. And 1, 2, 3, and there we go. And that, my friends, is the cardless coin matrix. Ooh, updated, says Jan. Thank you kindly for the applause, Chan. Yeah, so now I've been doing that entire like routine every stream for like the last like few months. So I'm like, oh right, oh the clap command. I don't know if I updated that. I think that's been there. Did I change something? I don't know if I. Oh yes, yeah. It's been updated with the crazy clap, not the regular claps. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, yeah. I think yeah. Did I do that recently? I think I did. Yeah, it used to be the emojis. Yes, yep, right. Yes, that's correct. Now that you mention it, you are right. Yeah, I didn't. I forgot that I had the emotes now, so I'm like, all right, we could. Just... So, thank you kindly for the claps, Chan the Magic Man, E Room. Thanks for the applause, Chan. Guess I haven't been here long. Yeah, I haven't like. So I almost feel like the claps, like people just put the claps in chat instead of using the clap command. So usually I don't. And then there's also the mind blown, or people just have like chat reactions, and I'm like, ah, okay. So even I rarely see the actual clap command. So in this stream, in my own stream. All right. Emotes are easier. Yeah, I think emotes are everybody like on Twitch basically defaults to using like emotes. So all right. Okay, let's go ahead and see how well I can do this trick now. So we have Gibson eyes, and we're going to go ahead and make it Gibson. Oh, that was not good. All right, we're going to go again. Gibson sus eyes to Gibson eyes. That was actually, I like that one. That was okay. Okay, now we're going to go from Gibson eyes to Gibson sus eyes. Yeah, I think that one was good too. All right. Okay, so 2 out of 3, not bad. Charlie's Beats. That's what the back of this card says. Okay. Let's see. I also was watching a little bit of Infozar's stream the other day, and he was doing tricks with a Sharpie. I mean, not just with the Sharpie, but actually writing things. And some of the things he did, really brilliant. And I'm like, I should practice something like that. That would be pretty cool. So I have some new ideas in my mind of how to use some cards and a Sharpie. But I haven't done or practiced anything yet with it. So, oops, I just banged the microphone. My apologies. Let's see. All right, so later this week, I'm anticipating I might have a cooking stream again. I liked the cooking stream mostly because it gave me something to do in addition to like cooking, which sometimes is like not fun, like if I'm not experimenting with something. But so I think my plan is to make gochujang chicken. So that's probably the plan. I have everything for it. I just didn't have time this weekend, and I'm like, all right, hey, maybe that's something I can stream. So that's the plan. Magic marker, says Chan. Yeah, yeah. Infozar was calling this the magic marker, which, by the way, he did call out that magic marker used to be a brand, but then magic markers used to have, and basically all Sharpies, even back then, all had chemical smells that were very addictive, but people shouldn't have inhaled them. So I will say that I was guilty of smelling a marker or two way back in the day. Uh, so yeah, pro tip: don't smell your markers. That's don't do it for your own good. Okay, let's see. Um, I forget. Did I put this? Yes, I did put it in the list. So, all right. I want to practice this just because it's quick, but I haven't gotten so much practice of it. I did show this to a few people, like in real life, and it worked out. But so we're gonna find the one-eyed jacks, which are the Jack of Hearts and the Jack of Spades. Then we're going to be grabbing any old card and placing it in between the one-eyed jacks. Look, they're going to stare this card down. See, look, they're staring at it. They're looking at it. But if you want, they can ignore it too. See, look. They are... Oh, no. I would have to... Here you go. Now they're ignoring it. I guess it depends on which set of faces you're looking at. But anyway, so we have one unknown card in between these two. Um, and then actually we can go ahead and have a card selected. So feel free to... I have to learn to put my mouse slightly further off camera. Or actually, wait, is this where my face is? If I place it right here, my head will hide my mouse. Okay, all right. But anyway, all right. So if anybody wants to select a card, feel free to click directly on the screen. This is a good time to hydrate too. So I'm having black English breakfast tea, I think. Thanks for getting that hydrate, Chan. Oh, do I not have the heat map? Oh, I do. Oh, wait, let me just double check. Heat map, interact. Okay. Ooh, can I put this directly in my mouth? Hold on. Delicious. Okay. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and have this be a selection. And let me show you this. We have the seven of spades. I'm going to go ahead and just cut these into the deck. So now we are going to somehow get the seven of spades to travel backwards in time. And how we're going to do that, I don't know, but we'll just cut it into the deck. And hopefully our one-eyed jacks can pull it through the ether. Because now if we spread the cards, we'll see one card in between the two one-eyed jacks. But we didn't know what card was put in there. But there's no way it could be the seven of spades, right? Unless you knew it was a magic trick, in which case, there it is. But yeah, so that one's a quick enough trick, and it could be done in the hands. So I was like, ooh, I need to practice this. So I'm throwing around the idea of making a business card for the purposes of getting some magic gigs. but I was like, oh, this would be like one of the perfect tricks to add to my repertoire because it's very quick to do, and it doesn't take long. It can satisfy that urge for a lot of people who are like, oh, you're gonna find my card, and I'm like, these jacks can find your card, right? So let's see here. Other things I've been working on. Oh yeah, you guys knew I was working on some Python stuff. So I finished creating my recreation of the Brave Rats board game. I can play against myself, i.e., I could just have two humans like enter numbers. I could play against a computer. Right now, the computer just plays randomly, or I can have two computers play against each other. Um, so the AI is currently random, but right now I'm working on an like a smart algorithm, basically just trying to have the uh, the computer choose a not stupid card to play during the game. So I'm working on that. I'm doing this in a currently empirical way, but then hopefully I can transition over to trying to train it and have like um, a neural network or something, or machine learning choosing the best play. So that's where I'm at with that project. I haven't dedicated much to it because I've been kind of concerned with a bunch of other things uh, surrounding. So when you lose a job and you need to have continuing medical coverage, there's things called COBRA, which means it's like the C and O means continuing, and then there's some like medical coverage, whatever. So I don't know why it's called COBRA. You know what? We're gonna look that up because, but trying to figure out what the best course of action for medical is. What does COBRA stand for? Continuation of health coverage. Wait, how does that translate? Oh, oh, okay. So it's for, it doesn't stand for continuation of health coverage, but that's basically what it is known for. But COBRA stands for Consolidated Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act of 1985. That's what it stands for. Ugh. All right. But anyway, I've learned a heck of a lot of things related to stock options and exercising them, and like, so buying and selling stocks seems relatively easy in comparison to having a bunch of other things like the different kinds of stock options and things like that. I'm just like, ah. So trying to understand that too. But anyway, such is life. Let's see here. What are the boss tricks? I forget what they were, so let's go refer to. Actually, I remember one of them being. I remember I had a boss trick recently that was not on my list, so that one doesn't count. Oh, if anybody was curious, today, welcome to Magic Stream 150. Today is 150th Magic Stream. That's exciting. Big 150. Hold on, I'm filling out my probably needlessly. I'm filling out my spreadsheet right now. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, okay. I should know how to do this trick. All right. Okay. Oh wait, no. And I did this trick last time successfully. So, or did I? Or did I leave it? Okay. Aaron Quendi, welcome in. How's it going? Congrats. Thank you. Thank you, Aaron L. How are you? Hopefully you're doing well. You guys are not following our friend Aaron Quendi. Please give Aaron a follow. Mobile Kindle Fire Streamer will play uh, stories, visual novel games, puzzle games. So definitely check Aaron out if you're not already following. Aaron says, I'm good, thank you. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so let's see. So the trick that I did not do well last time, let's do this time. So let's see here. It was revolver fully loaded, and this is going to be a boss. So let's go ahead and find a bunch of cards for this. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2. Okay. All right. And then let's see here. Okay. Okay. Let's. All right. Let's attempt this. All right. Also, last time I remember trying to do a weird story with this. I forgot what it was now, but maybe that threw me off. All right. So here we've got an ace of spades, a two of spades, a three of spades, a four of spades, and a five of spades, and a six of spades. We're going to fire off each one of these bullets. Aaron says, let's go. And if you take a look at the shape of a spade, it almost kind of looks like a bullet. I mean, it's not like the most aerodynamic bullet, but we're going to go ahead and fire off one of the bullets. And in order to do this, go ahead and take out your handgun, i.e. by making the gun shape with your hand, holding it up, and then you're going to say, bang. So ready, set, bang. Good timing, Chan. Because now take a look. Well, we're going to represent the firing of the bullet by having it turn over. Because look, here's our 5, here's our 4, 3, our 2, there's our 6, but now our 1 has turned face down, or our ace in this case. Okay, now we're going to fire off our second bullet. So here we go. Once again, everybody go ahead and make your hand guns. And then you're going to go ahead and aim it, and you're going to say, bang. Thank you kindly for the bang, Chan. So here we've got our 5, 4, 3, 6. There's our 2, and now our ace has turned itself back up. All right, and now let's go ahead and fire off our third bullet. Here we go. And we have our hand gun, and we're going to go fire it off. Ready? Remember, you're going to say, actually, if anybody's a fan of Cowboy Bebop, Spike Spiegel does this at the end of an episode, points it right at the camera, says, bang. Not that he knows that anybody's watching. But anyway, Aaron Quendi says, bang! All right, so here we go. We've got our 5 and 4. Here's our 6, our ace, our 2. But look, the 3 has turned itself face down. Okay. Now let's fire off the 4. Once again, make our handgun. And bang. Now we have our 5, our 2, ace, 6. Hey, and there we go. Chan just banged. Chan just banged the 4. Look at that. The 4 is now done. But now let's go ahead and shoot our 5th one. I just what? Says Chan. Bang. I mean, look, that's the theme of the trick, right? You're banging, fully loaded. Oh, sorry, revolver. You're revolving, fully loaded. Bang. All right, there we go. 6, ace, 2, 3, 4. But now the 5 is face down. And then finally, for our final bullet, because revolvers have 6 bullet chambers, which is why this trick goes on for so long. The original version of this trick only had 4, and I'm like, but that's not a revolver. So I made this version. Also, then we get enough bangs in one trick. Bang. Thank you for that bang, Aronel. Aronel getting in the final bang. So here we have our 4, 3, 2, ace. There's our 6, and here's our 5. Now let me go ahead and turn over the 6. Now, each one of these bullets that were shot, we had thought that perhaps everybody in blue was not shot, and so their uniforms showed that, look, the ace, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, and the 6 were all fine. But upon closer inspection, when we looked at each and every one of their uniforms, we found that they were all covered with blood. Each and every one of them had blood on their hands or on their shirt. And that, my friends, is revolver fully loaded. Bang! Aronel just wants to get another bang in. I know how fun it is to get those bangs in. Thank you kindly for all the bangs. Chan the Magic Man and Aronel. Thank you kindly for the claps. Aronel, Chan the Magic Man, thanks for clearing that, Chan. Alright. Then I see a request from Charlie's Beats. Thanks for the request, Charlie. Okay, let's see. I do have to find some cards for this. So hang on tight. Yeah, so anyway, assuming I go the route of trying to find some magic gigs just to fill some unemployment time, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully everything goes well. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Okay. All right, here we go. So, look, I have a packet of 4 cards here, but the thing is, we don't have to count the number of cards in this packet to know how many cards are in this packet. We could just look at any one of them, and it will tell us what number of cards. And so look, if we just go ahead and if we have all of these 4s over here, right? But all I have to do is leave this 4 behind the deck. Now, instead of counting the number of cards in this pile, we could just simply look at any of the cards in this pile. Because look, if I show you, there's a 3 here, there's a 3 over here, and then there's a 3 there. But if I remove a 3, now there's only hold on. We're going to start over. Not because I messed anything up, but because I need to double check, and I'm pretty sure there was something that was going to be wrong later. All right, okay, here we go. Thanks for the mulligan, Chan. All right. Okay, here we go. Same thing. We have 4 cards in this pile. We don't have to count them. We can just look at any of the cards in the pile. They all say 4. And so basically, each one of them will be able to tell us how many are in the pack. But look, if we just leave this 4 over here, now there are 3 cards in this pile. And so look, if we look at any one of those cards, that's a 3, that's a 3, and then of course, that's a 3. But if I remove a 3, we now have 2 cards in the pile. You know, I want to say that I didn't mess up, but something feels wrong right here. Hold on. Is it these cards? Is there something wrong with these cards? Yeah, there might be something wrong. Hold on. This is so weird. Sorry about this, guys. Okay. Well, you're going to see the beginning of this trick again. I'm sorry. Please hold. That's so bizarre. Yeah, I'm doing this. I think I'm doing this wrong, actually. All right, hang on. We're gonna figure this out right now. Oh. I figured it out, guys. We figured it out. Charlie's Beats says Pog. Chan says sus. Aaron L says great. Chan says take your time. All right. It's okay. I figured it out. I feel stupid now because now in retrospect it should have been obvious, but anyway. All right, now we're okay. All right. Anyway, okay, here we go. Same deal. We don't have to count any of the cards. We can just look at any of the cards, and then that's the value of it, right? But look, if we do something interesting like... If I hold on to these just for a second, but actually if I just take the 4 away and place it on the deck. Now if we take a look at any of these are all 3s. I know, is that weird? That's so weird, right? But here's the thing. All we have to do is if we take a 3 and we remove it, we now have 2 cards and they're both 2s. But if I take a 2 and I place it on the deck, we only have 1, and if we just take a look at it, well, ace represents 1. There isn't really a 1. And there we go. And that, my friends, is Countdown Packet. Thank you kindly for the request, Charlie's Beats. And so, full disclosure, I was doing quote unquote everything right, and I forgot one thing, which is simply where to put cards after you're done with them. That's the only difference. So, in my mind, I was just messing up, but there was nothing. If I just remembered, it would have been fine. I got there. Thanks, Aaron L. So anyway, as in good Charlie fashion, Charlie's good at finding new boss tricks, and so we're gonna go ahead and put Countdown Packet into my spreadsheet for boss trick next time. However, I did forget that we did just successfully do Revolver Fully Loaded as a boss trick. So we are going to... This was not for this trick. This is for Revolver Fully Loaded. Beating the boss. 103 boss tricks defeated, guys. I've had a lot of practice on stream. I don't even want to guess exactly how many Charlie has found, but Charlie, have you found maybe more than like 50 boss tricks? Is that... more than half of them is certainly possible, I think. Anyway, thanks, Charlie, for keeping me honest. Aaron L. has requested the Fantastic Four card trick, which is actually a creation of my own, which if you like the Marvel Fantastic Four, this is a trick that is an homage to that. This one's a long trick, so I'm going to take a sip to hydrate ahead of time. And even though I consider this an original, I did take all of the parts from a bunch of different other places. However, I'm pretty sure nobody has constructed it this way before. So I'm hyped for the movie. That's right. There's a new Fantastic Four movie coming out, or has it already come out? Hold on. Is it already out? Fantastic Four 2025 release date. Next weekend. Oh, okay. I knew it was like nearby. I was just like, all right, July 25th. Okay, yeah, so that's next weekend. Okay, so on Friday. All right, cool. So it is coming up Thursday. Ah, okay. All right, wait. 25th is... Oh, okay. According to what I just saw on the internet, it's 25th. It's Thursday night, midnight, maybe. In either case. Well, hopefully people are really pumped for this trick, because here we go, Fantastic Four. This is a trick that's kind of like the origin story. This is a packet of cards, but I don't want you to think of it as a packet of cards. It is a spaceship going into space to explore an anomaly with 4 people on board. The 4 people are Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm. Now, each one of them, they are going to get certain powers because the spaceship is going to encounter an anomaly and somehow give them all of these powers. So let's go ahead and take a look at our first individual in this case, the 2 of clubs, who is going to represent Reed Richards. He is going to be known as Mr. Fantastic, and Mr. Fantastic gets the power to stretch beyond any human's ability to stretch. Now, all I have to do is just pull on both sides of the 2 of clubs, and you will be able to see that Reed Richards gets this strange power to stretch well beyond the ability of normal cards, or people in this case. And he can hold that just for a little while, but not for too long, because it's like a new power, a new ability. And so that is Mr. Fantastic, aka Reed Richards. And so next up is the invisible woman is going to be represented by the Queen of Hearts, aka Sue Storm. Now, Sue Storm, she, as in the name, she will become invisible whenever she wants, but not when I want her to, because she's sassy and has her own personality, and so I'm not exactly sure when she will turn invisible, but she will at some point, and so she will end up turning invisible whenever she wants. I don't know if you can now see, but you can't see her. She's invisible. Sometimes you can kind of see her silhouette. There she is. Right? But anyway, but now when I ask her to come back, hey Sue, come back, she still doesn't want to come back. She'll come back whenever she wants. And so I'm not exactly sure when she'll come back, but she'll come back eventually. And so here she is. Okay. Next up is going to be Ben Grimm, and he is going to be represented by the 8 of Diamonds. Now, Ben Grimm, he used to be an average looking guy, but then he loses his looks in exchange for extreme strength. His skin becomes orange and rocky, and he becomes super strong, having the strength of many men. Um, and I just realized the way to demonstrate this normally. So I have a heavy phone, and if any Joe Schmo, which will be represented by this Joker, was to try and hold the phone, they could not hold the phone. Very flimsy, could not hold the phone. However, Ben Grimm, with the power to hold the phone, he says, yeah, no problem. Look at that. We can even drop the phone on him a couple times. No problem. And that is Ben Grimm, known as The Thing. And then finally, we have Johnny Storm, whom is going to be known as the Human Torch. He's going to be represented by the 7 of Spades. Now, in this case, the 7 of Spades, well, he's currently not on fire, but all he has to do is say, flame on, and actually he becomes fiery red. I don't know if you can tell, but take a look. This is not a camera trick. The 7 of Spades, you can inspect this if you were here, has become red. But then he can't be on fire forever, and so if we say, flame off, or we just blow, he becomes a very smoky version of himself. I don't know if you can tell, but look, this 7 is now smoky. And so they all discover their new powers. They all get back to Earth, and well, Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, says, "Hey, we have these powers. We should totally do something productive with them for society." And they decide to create a superhero squad known as the Fantastic Four. And that, my friends, is the Fantastic Four card trick. There we go. Okay. Arenell, thank you so much for the bits. Greatly appreciate it. For the 30 bits. Thank you kindly. That was great. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Yeah, so the different various parts. So let's see, Reed Richards. That I took from existing tricks. There's a trick called the elongated lady. You can kind of see where the trick could. Let's see. The Johnny Storm is a series of color changes. The Invisible Woman, there's a clear card. And then I came up with the thing for the thing myself, because I don't think anything existed, and I was like, how the hell do I show super strength on a card? And I'm like, I don't know. This is probably the best way. So I came up with that. But yeah, so that was I basically consider that my original, because yeah, no one has done that. So thank you kindly, Aaron. I'll greatly appreciate it. Glad you enjoyed. So there's actually a trick that I sometimes have followed up that as like the second half of it, like Fantastic Four Part 2, but the name of the trick is not. I always have to preface that as a card trick, but there's a trick in the trick list called maximum penetration. But if you would like to see the Fantastic Four Part 2, I've themed that trick as Fantastic Four Part 2. Not Part 2 the movie, it's just a continuation of this story. But anyway, okay, all right. Next up, we have a trick that is also I think it's an original of mine, but it's not like I came up with this thing, but the presentation, certainly nobody has presented it this way. It's the polarization of light. Oh, actually, do I have the props for polarization as well? I may actually, hold on, if I have them, I'm also going to use them. I may have. I did clean up this recently, but I'm not sure if it's still immediately. Oh, they're still here. Okay, perfect. So we can use the props for this. Okay. So for anybody who's into science, scientific concepts, this is a trick where I attempt to illustrate the polarization of light. Okay, so normally I would just ask for a selection, but since Charlie's Beats has requested the trick, Charlie's Beats has signed a card, in this case, the Ace of Spades. So let's go ahead and use the Ace of Spades as part of this trick. Now, let's pretend that the Ace of Spades is a photon, and this is the light that is scattered with it. Now, anytime you look at light, it is basically polarized in all sorts of different directions. It's not lined up. When you look at light through a polarizing filter, which I will use these to represent. But look, if we just go ahead and shoot this photon amongst the light, it doesn't matter if I fan it horizontally, in this case here, you'll be able to see it, or vertically, here, you will be able to see it pretty easily. So let's go ahead and polarize this light. So let's first polarize horizontally. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and polarize the Ace of Spades horizontally. So now you should only be able to see it horizontally. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and push this into the middle of the deck, and we are going to fan it vertically. But now look, if you take a look, you won't be able to see it. It's not that the photon isn't there. It's still there. It's just polarized, and so you won't be able to see it until we fan this horizontally. And that immediately sticks out because there it is. So what happens if we go ahead and polarize this vertically? Let's go ahead and do it that way. So we're going to go ahead and polarize this vertically, putting that through that polarizer. And so now I'm going to go ahead and put this into the deck. But first we're going to fan it horizontally. And as you can tell, you won't be able to immediately see it. It's still there. It's just polarized vertically. So now let's polarize it, or sorry, let's show you the light vertically, and you will be able to see it because that's how the light is polarized. And immediately you can tell which one it is because there it is, right here. And that, my friends, is a quick magic demonstration of the polarization of light. That one's a fairly new trick, I think, on the trick list too, because I was like, I like it. It's almost like one that I had created, just that presentation. But it's based on a simple premise, like for people who do card magic. So I'm sure, Chan, you could probably figure out how that's done, right? I think you probably know, or at least you could figure out how it's done. But I think the unique thing is the presentation, because I think magicians, especially gigging magicians, they don't want to go in depth into a scientific concept that might lose people. And so I'm like, but I think this is cool. Like this, this is the kind of thing that you know, I imagine that uh, I could try and use magic to show people and teach people, right? So, but anyway, I have some more ideas for some videos on my YouTube channel, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, thanks for that request, Charlie's Beats. Charlie trying to find two boss tricks in one stream. But yeah, so there you go. Does anyone have any sort of like concepts or like scientific phenomena that you think would be interesting to have shown in a magic trick? I would like to get ideas. So if you guys have any ideas for like concepts that might be cool to illustrate in a magic trick, let me know. Because I think that would be pretty cool. Oh yeah, thanks for pulling up my YouTube. Yeah, so I have a ton of stuff on my YouTube. Please watch or play it in a tab, even if you don't actually watch. Wormhole? Wormhole? Okay, alright, Charlie's Beats, we're gonna do a wormhole. Uh, actually, how can we make it more like a wormhole? Hmm. Okay. Alright, I have two ideas in my mind, Charlie, based on when you're saying wormhole. There's the standard one that I've done before that's kind of like, and we use it as like a transporter. Or, or, hmm. Okay, all right. You know what? Let's do one of them for a temporal rift. Ooh, okay, that's a cool idea too. All right, hold on. Let's do let's do travelers. Okay. Okay. Let me try this and we'll go from there. So we'll start here. Okay, we have three people going on an away mission. These people are in the Star Trek universe. Their names might be a little bit funky, but you don't know what names are going to be like in the future. So they're going to be represented by the three of spades, the two of spades, and the ace of spades. So we have Kisogo Plays, Chris M. and Charlie's Beats are our three away team members. The Nexus? Oh, okay. All right. Charlie, you're giving me too many ideas now. Okay, all right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and show you how each individual person is going to travel through. Let's start with the wormhole idea. Let's start with the wormhole. Okay, so I like wormhole and I like temporal rift. There's a lot of stuff for that. There's only one movie, as far as I know, that references the Nexus. So I don't know how I would explain that to people because it's like, well, here's what the Nexus is. And to be fair, when I watched that movie a couple times, full disclosure, we're going down a deep quote unquote wormhole uh, about Star Trek now. But like, even in the movie, it's not entirely clear how the Nexus works either, right? So, okay, but anyway, so here, Kisogo Plays is going to be here. And then Chris Emye will be over here. And then here we have Charlie's Beats. Okay, so here, Charlie's Beats. Let's go ahead and Charlie's Beats is going to go ahead and travel through this wormhole down here. And see, these two are separated. So look, Charlie's Beats is going to go ahead and go from here to here, because a wormhole is something that connects 2 points in space-time. Not just space, but space-time. And so Charlie fell down into this wormhole. And this wormhole, actually you can even see, this is like the portal, right? Is actually going to appear over here. And so there we have Charlie's Beats. And now over here, we're going to have the 2, aka Chris M. Yee, is going to enter the wormhole from this side. But remember, it's through space and time, so it doesn't necessarily mean that you would get from here back to over here necessarily. And remember, this was the top was connected to the top before, but actually when Chris M. Yee entered through the top of the wormhole here, actually going to travel to the bottom of the wormhole over here. Is that weird? That's super weird, right? But also we have Kisogo plays as our third, and we're going to go ahead and have, in this case, Kisogo is going to enter the wormhole, but not from a clear opening. It's going to be just somewhere in the middle here. And importantly, currently, Kisogo plays is not over here or over here, but after the wormhole, after Kisogo plays is done traversing through the wormhole, he will then appear. Let's make the wormhole animation. There we go. Appear over here instead. And that, my friends, is an idea for describing wormholes, aka they are also known as Rosen-Einstein bridges, right? I forget whose name is first. It's the Rosen-Einstein bridge, right? I'm gonna have to double check that now. I want that to be correct. Wormholes known as, is it Rosen-Einstein bridge? Einstein-Rosen bridge. Okay, sorry, I mixed it. So Einstein-Rosen bridge. I got the names right. Just let's see. Thank you kindly for the emotes, for the clappies, E-Room. Appreciate it. And then, ooh, 2 more. A star going nova and Borg collective consciousness. Ooh. All right, let me see. That's a good one. I've actually done a Borg related trick, a Borg related Star Trek trick, where the Borg came and assimilated a bunch of people on my YouTube. Hold on, let me find that really quick. Boom. And I used Star Trek cards for it too, which is the interesting thing. Hi everybody, Nam here. And hold on, you can ignore my voice coming from the video. Star Trek cards. Let's see. Here, this one. Copy link address. Okay. So if you guys, oh no, that's too long. I don't want to copy that. Oh, because I did it from a playlist, and this playlist has like all of the things. Hold on. Actually, so the playlist is all Star Trek related tricks. If you like Star Trek, watch this playlist. There's like 5 Star Trek tricks using Star Trek cards. So there you go. But the one that I linked that video specifically is the one where we assimilate. So okay, but anyway, where was I? Okay, I think is going supernova going to be easier to show? How would I show that? Let's see. Hang on, I'm brainstorming really quick on how to show a supernova. How could I show a supernova? Okay. I'm trying to think of like, should I go from like a star collecting mass and then gets super dense, like, or should I just go like, hey, it's starting as a star and then it just explodes? I'm not entirely sure how to show the explosion. All right, hold on. Let's go to the other one in Borg collective consciousness. Hmm. Actually, I had a simple one that we could probably do for the Borg. Let me see. Let's see. Okay, all right. Let me see if I can work this out. Okay, so we have the Borg. The Borg. If you guys didn't know, the Borg are the one of the major antagonist species of the Star Trek universe, introduced in Star Trek: The Next Generation, but carried through. They're basically seen in like all of the newer Treks, but played a big role in Star Trek Voyager. Uh, okay, let's see. And they all share a collective consciousness when they're connected to the collective. Uh, Apparently, when they're disconnected from the collective, networking is a bitch. So um, that's still a problem. Okay, all right. Okay, let me start with this. We'll go from there. Okay, so we have 4 drones here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. They are 4 drones. But if you were to ask them where they needed to report, they would tell you that they all need to report to Unimatrix 5. And so if you ask this drone, that one needs to go to Unimatrix 5. But now if you ask this drone, well, this drone is connected to the same collective and is assigned to the same Unimatrix as that one. And so that would also say Unimatrix 5. And then also this one, if you were to ask, this one would also say they need to report to Unimatrix 5 because they share the same consciousness, the same Borg collective consciousness. And this one would also say they need to report to Unimatrix 5. And so let's pretend we now go to Unimatrix 5 and we hear the voices. If we are assimilated, we will hear the voices. Report to Unimatrix 5. Report to Unimatrix 5. Report to Unimatrix 5. Report to Unimatrix 5. And so that's all we would see. But as it turns out, when we get to Unimatrix 5, we won't hear that report anymore because we're already there. Because as it turns out, we will go and look at all of those drones and we will see that, yeah, they are 4 distinctly different drones of 4 different species in this case. Here's the species represented by the hearts. Here's another species represented by the diamonds. Here's another species represented by a spade. And here's another species represented by the heart. All assimilated by the Borg. And they're all here at Unimatrix 5. Okay, how was that? That was very impromptu, very unrehearsed, but also drawing on like material that I like Star Trek. I haven't really thought about Star Trek outside of the context of tricks for a long time. And also except for like random discussions we'll have in like Gibson Lenses stream when we bring up Star Trek. But I still love Star Trek. I would like to watch all of the Star Trek series that I watched as a kid now, if I had time. I don't have time. uh, my excuse used to be, I don't have time because I had a job. Well, now I don't have time because I don't have a job. So that's that's the other half of it. Okay. Aranel says Strange New Worlds is so good. Oh, Aranel, I'm so jealous. I have not seen any new Star Trek series, so I've basically watched a bunch of original, and then like all of TNG, all of Voyager, all of DS9, some Enterprise, and then that's where I stopped. I know I have to watch like all of the other ones, but yeah. Aranel says TNG is my favorite. Awesome. I'm so glad that somebody else also likes TNG. I like TNG a lot. Ah, we have a request from Charlie's Beats for red herring. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Oh, actually, wait. I can theme this one as Star Trek as well. And when I think of Shiny, I think of Kivas Fajo. Does anybody remember that episode? I think it's called like The Collector or something. But Kivas Fajo would collect all the unique things in the universe. And let's go ahead and do that. All right, let's. Charlie says, "Yes, the most toys wanted to collect data. Yes, that's the episode. Man, you guys know. Excellent." Okay, all right. Okay, here we go. All right, let's pretend that you are Kivas Fajo and you would like to collect data. Now, in this case, there's a bunch of treasures in the universe, but you don't have eyes for anything except for data. So, not data in the general sense, but data, the character that we're talking, the android, the Sung type android. So, look, this is just some random treasure that maybe isn't as appealing. This one is the same thing. That's not. But here is the ace of spades, which is going to represent data. And so that is who we're looking for. And so you are going to want to select the card that is data. Now, in this case, you want to keep track of right now it would be third from the top. But let's pretend that we are trying to avoid giving Kivas Fajo data. And so here we go. We're going to reverse count them and ask, hey, where would you say data is? Well, let's say you look into this first room. In this case, here, you would say that data is here in the second room. But if we take a look, data is not there. Data has actually moved down to the basement. And so let's go ahead and reverse count them again. And you would guess that perhaps data would now be on the top, right? But no, data is actually is here second from the top. And so that's not the case either. But let's pretend that Kivas Fajo had an idea. Let's get rid of one of the other treasures and close down one of the other rooms so that you're not too confused. And so look, we're going to go ahead and take one of them, place them into this room, lock it down, and so you know that that's not data. And now let's go ahead and but now data and the enterprise mix themselves up. And so where would Kivas Fajo look for data? Well, let's pretend he looks in the first room right here. Well, if we take a look, no, Data's not there. Well, okay, maybe Data's still in the basement. Maybe Data hadn't left. Nope, Data's not there either. Well, actually, how about over here? Data's in the remaining room, but no, that's actually not Data either. And so now you're second guessing yourself. Wait, maybe Data is, and I think a lot of people's minds would go here. Data is actually in that locked room. Somehow he found a way. He's a Sung type android. He can get over there, right? But no, actually, that's not the case because even though Kivas Fajo ends up going over here, we secretly look back over here, and he was just hiding amongst all of the toys. There's Data, and he successfully gets away from Kivas Fajo. We saved Data! That's correct. Now, if we go ahead and take a look, this is what Kivas Fajo was left with. Kivas Fajo was left with something called a red herring. If you don't know what a red herring is, that's a phrase to describe something that is not exactly what you're looking for. But in this case, it is quite literally what Kivas Fajo got. Kivas Fajo got a red herring. And I don't know if you can tell, but this is basically what a red herring looks like. It might swim like this. Needless to say, Kivas Fajo, very upset. And that was red herring themed as the most toys episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. Not gonna lie, that was maybe the most unique performance of red herring I've ever done. Certainly. Thank you kindly for the emotes and the claps. E-Room, Charlie's Beats. Thank you for the Spock brow, Aranel. Yes, that was actually really fun. So, if anybody played the old Star Trek card game, they released a product, and this is why like Kivas Fajo was in my mind. They had released a special product for that card game called the Fajo Collection, which was just like a limited time print run of like 18 cards that is super like unique. But like one of the cards was a Klingon card, not just like a card that represented a Klingon, but is literally a card that the card text was written in Klingon. And they had another one where it was like, I don't know, it was like black hole or something. And most other cards that just had an image on it, this one had like the card art and the text warp itself as though it was falling into the center of the black hole in the image. And I was like, that's super cool. Like they did really fun stuff in that game with cards. So if I find I know I have a copy of the Fajo collection. I got it many years later after like the limited edition like hype and stuff. I forgot what it was like retailing for, but it was probably like $60 or $70, and I couldn't justify that for like 18 cards that honestly I didn't really play the game with people. So, but I ended up finding it for really cheap much later in life. By much later, I mean in the last like 10 years. So I was like, oh, okay, I can get this for like $15. That's worth it. So yeah, if I and actually yeah, if you guys want to see some Star Trek cards from that game, I actually have some here. Let me see. Yeah. Let me hold on. Let me clear this. Let me show you some of these cards. I just realized I can show cards on this way better now because this is a better camera. All right, so we have Star Trek Voyager cards here. I have been known to use these for a magic trick. But here's Ensign Harry Kim. I don't know how good it's going to focus, but there it is. This is the Doctor, played by Robert Picardo. Here's Captain Catherine Janeway, played by Kate Mulgrew. So, funny story. I think it was last year or 2 years ago. I forget. But Kate Mulgrew was coming to my city to do a talk, not related to Star Trek, but like I forgot what the talk was about. But this one's Naomi Wildman, and then this one is the USS Voyager. I don't know how many people who are still playing this game, but they might be like, "Oh my God, he's handling these cards without sleeves," and I'm like, "Yep." So the horror, but I've got a lot more cards. But the reason why I have these Voyager cards is because I would have liked to use next gen cards, but the problem is they were printed earlier and the quality of those sucked, so they don't glide as well or like handle as well and not consistently, and sometimes like just by print runs some of the cards were just always bent like in a way that didn't make it useful. And then some of them were like matte on one side and like smooth on the other side. And it was a nightmare to try and handle those. So I'm like, Voyager and Deep Space Nine came out later, so that the quality of card was a lot easier to handle. And so I have these just on hand because if I want to do a Star Trek trick, this is like these cards are easier to handle than next gen ones. So there are some next, but I mean they're going to be more expensive if I want like characters that are recognizable. If it's if I want to do a magic trick with like generic ensign over here, and like this security officer, then it's like okay, that's fine. Like, but nobody will know or care. It's like I need main characters, and those are the ones that are tougher to get. So. And I'm not about to spend a lot of money on dead card games, especially with my current employment situation. So, yeah. All right. See, queue is empty. If anybody wants to request anything, feel free. I've done my obligatory tricks for the day. I'm thinking about ending in 10 minutes unless people want me to stream longer because currently there's nothing immediately pressing. So, oh, I guess the one thing that's kind of pressing is that I still have to record my YouTube video for tomorrow, or at least if I choose not to record one, I have to choose one to publish for tomorrow. Charlie has requested French twist, and is there any way we can theme this as a Jean-Luc Picard thing? Because Jean-Luc Picard is French. Let's see here. And Aaron Elquendi has requested one of the hardest tricks in my trick list. Well done. All right, we'll start with Charlie's first. All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. So we have the Ace of Spades, the Ace of Hearts, the Ace of Clubs, and the Ace of Diamonds. And here's what we are going to do with these. Um, just to demonstrate, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have all of the aces in my hand, and if I hold them and I shake the packet, one of the aces should turn itself face up. Yeah, that's the plan. Okay, so what does that mean? So remember that Star Trek episode where Picard was close to death and he had to make choices um, about his past life, and this is where he ended up getting his artificial heart or whatever. But each time he would have a glimpse into the past, he would make a different decision, and these are the glimpses into his past. So, look, all I have to do is if I hold the packet in my hand and give it a shake, that will give a glimpse into Jean-Luc Picard's. This is the uh, first glimpse into his past. I forget what the first encounter was, right? Um, but now he jumps back, and now he's in his time in which. Oh wait, this is the encounter with the Nausicaans. Yeah, that's this one. Okay. And now we've got all of those. Actually, wait. Now he has to have another encounter. So here he's back into his. You know what? I need to rewatch this episode, basically. Okay. Um, but here we go. Actually, we need to give it a shake, right? Because now, there we go. Um, so here we've got Jean-Luc Picard just in the final moments before he has to accept whether he is or not. Yeah, I really need to watch this episode again before I make a trick about it. But anyway, so actually, we're gonna need to shake this. There we go. And so there, and that's how we have all of the memories surface back to Jean-Luc Picard. He remembers all of them. He remembers his decisions, and he realizes that if he had made different decisions, he would not be the captain that he is today. Uh, and so, ultimately, even when he tries to remember himself, if he just, right? So here's the timeline of his life, right here. These events don't happen in the present, they all happen somewhere in the middle. And so, in order for him to restore his captain and not like his lieutenant version of himself, he has to remember all of his memories and put them back exactly in order in the timeline of his life so that he can remain and become the Captain Jean-Luc Picard that he always knew he was. And there we go. And all good things must come to an end. All right, and that was my attempt at French twist, theming it a little bit as Star Trek with as Jean-Luc Picard. I think I have some kinks to work out on that one, but otherwise, uh, yeah, I did. So I did kind of mess up a point in the trick from the magic perspective. Not that I did anything wrong, but like I accidentally sped up a thing. So it could have gone a little bit slower for the purposes of the trick and the storytelling. But otherwise, that was it. All right, but thanks for that request, Charlie's Beats. And then we have. All right, now it's probably a good time to close the queue. We do have one more trick requested by Aaronel. And then luckily we have all of the aces out already because we are going to use them as part of this trick. And then, okay. All right. Then we have this. Okay. All right. And then, of course, after this, I will do a finale trick before we end. So. All right, here we go. We have the four aces. Let me introduce you to them. We have the ace of diamonds, the ace of clubs, the sorry, that was the ace of hearts. This is the ace of diamonds, and then here's the ace of spades. So we're going to leave the ace of spades down here. And then, of course, we are going to go ahead and place the other 3 aces out onto the table, like so. And hold on, let me see if I can figure out how to retheme this as a Star Trek thing. Okay, so we have 3 different undercover agents on 3 different missions. This is the ship that is up. So this is the Starship Enterprise down here. And let me see. Hold on, give me a minute to try and figure out how we can retheme this really quick. Okay, all right. So yeah, here we have the Starship Enterprise, and then we have all of our operatives down on 3 different missions on the planet's surface. And so we are going to go ahead and find that, hey, somebody needs to come back up to the surface. This particular, but this is some other crew member, but we need that crew member to come back up. And so what's going to happen is this crew member is going to beam down with a few others, in this case like this, and they're going to then find the crew member Marshall Silver, welcome in. Thank you kindly for the raid. Let me finish this trick and then we will give you a proper welcome. I guess I will also wait for the emotes to clear, just in case you think any. My hands are up here. My hands are up here. Okay. If you guys didn't know, we are also theming our trick to this trick as a Star Trek thing. So here's the Starship Enterprise. There's 3 operatives at different places on the planet's surface. They're all aces. We're going to try and get all of the aces to come back up here. We just sent 3 operatives down here. And now if we take a look, there's no operative down here. These are 3 other officers, including the one that we sent down. Because look, here is our agent, or our officer that we sent down, has now successfully come back to the Starship Enterprise. Now, for our second one, this is going to be responsible for bringing up our second away team member. We're going to go ahead and send down an entire away team to try and find our next away team member. And if we take a look, we now don't have that away team member because they are now up here. And now some people believe that energize, says Aaron L. Quendy. Let's see. Marshall Silver says, and welcome in, Raiders. Marshall Silver says, hey, you use Chrono Trigger music for raids too. Awesome. Yeah, I do, yes. Oh, and you got the emotes too. Excellent. And then, let's see. Marshall says, let me see. Starting sometime I like to call Fantastic Four week. I am streaming games with only the number 4 in the title in preparation for Fantastic Four First Steps. I am seeing it this Thursday. Awesome. I actually did my Fantastic Four card trick earlier today, but if that's something you would like to see for your raid, Marshall Silver, here I can do it for your raid. Dinner's ready. Catch y'all later. All right. Thanks for the raid and run, Marshall Silver. Have a good night. Thank you kindly for the raid. Greatly appreciate it. Okay. All right. So anyway, as it turns out, we do want to find our final crew member, and the crew member is indeed there. And so, but as it turns out, let's go ahead and so here are the other crew members. We'll leave them up on the Enterprise, and then this one is still down on the planet. But we are also going to need to send an away team down to get them as well. And we will prepare up here on the Enterprise, as it turns out, just some. But if we all now take a look, I do promise you that all of the officers will be united by the end of this trick. But if we take a look on the starship, they are not here. They are actually all collected down here. There's our 4 away team members and officers. As it turns out, the junior staff was in charge of the starship as everybody else was gathered doing the rescue mission. So here's the junior staff. And that, my friends, is Hitchcock Aces themed as Star Trek away mission. All right. Let's see. Welcome in, Raiders. Welcome in, John G-Men 5. Welcome in, Marshall Silver. And Marshall Silver had to go. So thank you for the raid and run. Greatly appreciate it. Yes, thank you kindly for the raid. And hopefully you had a wonderful stream. Guys, you're not following our friend Marshall Silver. Please give Marshall. Did we get a shout out from Marshall Silver? I think we did, but thanks, mods. No harm in doing it again. Yeah, Marshall Silver, a variety gamer, and plays a bunch of different games. I actually had also the opportunity to, I think, be in Marshall Silver's stream while he was getting married at his own wedding. So, I mean, not like it was like during the reception or something, but that was, yeah. But I've lurked in Marshall Silver's stream just, watching games and stuff, so. All right, but we were also thinking about ending, so I do want to do a trick for the Raiders, so let me do the usual intro trick that I would basically randomly show people this on the street if I run into them. And so, all right, we have a deck. Let's find a card, doesn't matter what it is. And so this is the one that chat is now connected to. So in this case, the 4 of Hearts. 4 of Hearts. And so let's go ahead and put that just in the middle there. Okay. But we can call it back up to the top of the deck. I don't know if you can tell, but it is now here on the top. Now we can go ahead and put it in the middle of the deck again, like this. You can clearly see it going in the middle. If I snap, that will bring it back from the middle all the way back up to the top, because there it is. And we can do this. So here's the thing. If you don't believe I'm actually putting it down there, but here, take a look. Before I snap, that's some other card. That's not our card. But look, all I have to do, snap. That brings it from the middle back up to the top. I know, is that weird? That's super weird, right? Now, here's what we're going to... Thank you for the mind-blowing air now. So look, I'm going to go ahead and leave this sticking out. Some people believe the magicians will swap out the card, but you'll know I haven't swapped it out because in this case, this card happens to be signed. You could have signed this. I have all of my spectators usually sign the card for this trick. But I'm going to place it in the middle of this packet. I'm going to place this packet in the middle of this packet. Once again, some people think that I hide it on the top. That's not the case. Some people think I hide it on the bottom. That's not the case either. It's not until we snap, which will bring it from the middle back up to the top. And that, my friends, is the ambitious card routine. One cool thing about the ambitious card routine is that that's not always how the trick is done. The plot of the ambitious card routine is the card gets put in the middle and then jumps back up to the top. But you'll see it done like a million different ways because you can make it as long or as short as you want. So if you're a beginning magician, you might do 1 or 2 phases. So you might do 1 or 2 cards, 1 or 2 parts where it jumps up to the top. But then how many times did I do? I just did it like 5 times, right? So I made it like a little bit longer. That's like the intermediate version. Then there's like expert versions where you could do it like 10 times. Each time it gets crazier and crazier. You might use like rubber bands. You can, it's insane. But anyway, Thank you for the mind blown, Aaron L. Thank you kindly for the emotes and the claps. E-Room and Aaron L. All right, cool. So that was that. And that was thank you for the raiders. And if any raiders, if you are still there, we're thinking about wrapping up. So if you wanted to see something else, please speak up now. Otherwise, I will still do one more finale trick. I'll do my outro, I'll do a finale trick, and then we will raid out. So let's see, which trick do I want to do this week? Do I want to do... You know what? I should see which one I haven't done in a week. Because last week, did we do days? Yeah, we did do days last week. Okay, yeah, let's do that one. That one's been a month out. So, all right, so I think for my finale, we're going to do this one. I also don't like to finish on a trick that I mess up on. So if I happen to mess up on the trick, I will do another finale trick. Um, but anyway, so thank you so much for everybody coming out and hanging out with me tonight. Hopefully everybody had fun. Thank you to everybody who interacted with the stream, whether you chatted in chat, did any sound alerts, requested a trick, clicked on the heat map, chose a card. If it wasn't for you guys, this wouldn't be as much fun for me, so thank you so much. Thank you to all the lurkers out there, because magic is one of those rare art forms where if I am just doing magic at home by myself, there's no magic happening. The magic has to happen in your mind. And also, if you believe that any of this was like, real magic, it was like black magic, sorcery, or deals with the devil or anything, none of it is that. It's all sleight of hand card magic. And certainly if I had real magic, why would I limit it to sleight of hand card magic? Plausible deniability, best cover story ever. And also, I am trying to stream more, doing a variety of different things. But if you guys want to keep in touch or see when I'm going live, you can join the Discord. And then if you want to see more of me and I'm not streaming, I have a ton of stuff on my YouTube channel. Check out my YouTube channel. I have over 300 magic performances. I'm putting up new tricks multiple times a week now. I'm actually starting a YouTube memberships thing where I'm revealing some secrets of magic. So if you want to learn some of the secrets of magic and you don't mind supporting me, that's one way to do it. I recently lost my software engineering job in tech, so we're trying to see if we can make any extra bucks from my hobbies here. So that's in the meantime. But anyway, let's if you guys haven't given some mud love to our mods, please give some mud love to our mods. We have Chan the Magic Man. Chan the Magic Man, another fellow Twitch magician, and also does magic on Magic Mondays. So give Chan a follow. Catch him tomorrow. Also, Chan is going to be having a birthday later in the week. So catch him. If you give him a follow, you might be able to catch a birthday magic stream or a birthday stream on Thursday. I'm sure he'll do some magic. It might not be entirely magic, but if you find him other times, he could be playing video games like retro games, community games like Words on Stream, or Grand Theft Auto. So definitely give Chan a follow. If you're not following our friend and mod Gibson Lens, please give Gibson Lens a follow. Gibson Lens is a pianist, composer, has composed a bunch of his own originals, and has released his first album a few months ago. So definitely give those a listen at the link tree there, because it's free to listen to on all the streaming services. Also, if you catch Gibson Lens on a stream, you might find that we're doing movie reviews. So he reviews some movies that he's watched, because he hasn't watched like a lot of old movies, and I have fun guessing whether he likes them or not. So anyway, definitely give our mod some mod love and give him a follow if you're not already following. All right, and I think I'll stream on Tuesday, says Gibson Lens. So normally Gibson Lens will stream on Monday, but because we know that it was going to be canceled ahead of time, Gibson Lens says we'll stream on Tuesday. All right, awesome. I should be able to make it, I think. So I don't think I have anything immediately pressing. Awesome. All right, cool. And then let's see here. is that. And then thank you to Marshall Silver for the raid. Thank you so much, Marshall Silver. Greatly appreciate it. And then thank you, John G Men 5 for the follow. Thank you for the bits today, Aaron L. And all right, let's go ahead and get to the finale trick, and hopefully I don't mess it up. Because if I do, I'm doing another one. And then we'll find somebody to raid. All right, cool. So, all right, here we go. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. And they are the 4 aces. So here we've got a red ace right here. And then over here we've got another red ace. And so let's place those down. And then we have over here the 2 black aces. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the 2 red aces, not physically, just spiritually, and put them into my hand. I don't know if you can tell, but look, those 2 black aces have now turned into the 2 red aces. I know, is that weird? That's super weird, right? But some people are like, hey, where are the 2 black aces? And a lot of people think that they're right here. But remember, all I did was I took the red aces spiritually and I put them in my hand. I didn't put the black aces anywhere. So now if we take a look at these, there's no aces here. They are blank. But now I'm going to go ahead and grab the 2 red aces and just blow them away. Because now if you take a look, I don't know if you can tell, but look, there's actually no aces here. And so if we take a look at all of these, they're all blank. And that, my friends, I will call a successful performance and a successful finale. Whew, okay. All right, I'm going to confess. When I started the stream, I was a little tired. I was actually thinking about taking a nap about an hour before stream, and I'm like, if I nap now, I will be way too tired. So I chose not to take the nap. And then luckily I woke up a little bit, so that was good. So anyway, thank you kindly for the claps and the emotes. E-Room, Gibson Lens. Thank you kindly. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and see who is streaming, and we can figure out who to raid. It has been nice that I've been streaming some more because I've been able to raid some people that I have not raided before. So that's been cool. I've also raided some people that I haven't raided in a long time either. So, all right, but let's see. Tonight, let's see who is here. Um, have I ever raided this person? Let me consult my spreadsheet. Yep, it's not surprising. I have a stream spreadsheet. Let's see, we rated out to this person once in 2024, in May of 2024. Okay, they are a contender. Is there anyone else that I have not rated or ever? Oh, wait. Have we ever rated this person? Oh, okay. There's somebody that I've never rated that we could raid. Hold on, let me see how long. And actually, let me see how long this person's been going. Oh, I got ads for both, so hang tight. This could take a minute. You know, it's it's a funny time when I get the same ad on both streams. So you know I hit some very specific demographic that's like, here, go get this thing. Okay, and then I'm leaning towards rating the person I've never rated before. So, all right, hang tight. The ad is okay. So this person's been going for 17 minutes, and this person has been going for a while. All right, so and we have rated them. All right, you know what? Let's go and raid over here. Hold on, let me find chat again. All right. Okay, so if anybody wants to follow along on this raid, you can copy this raid call, or if you're subbed, you can copy this raid call. And then we're going to be raiding someone named Cat Denza. I used to mod for someone that would raid over there more often, but then that person stopped streaming. So, if you guys are familiar with Hutch. But we're going to raid over to Cat Denza. Cat Denza is a violinist, and I occasionally will listen to a lot of music streams. That's mostly what I listen to. So yeah, let's go over to Cat Denza, and tonight she's playing violin. So, all right. Oh, let me copy my own raid call. All right. Okay, everybody. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with me tonight. Hopefully, you guys had fun. I certainly did. And remember to everybody remember to take care of yourselves, remember to hydrate, remember to stretch, and remember to get good sleep, because we know how difficult it is to get good sleep nowadays. So great seeing you. Hopefully we'll see you guys around later. So take care, and we'll see you next time. All right, bye.